Hi everyone, welcome to week 3 of the VG Casters Cup. This week I am up against Shmon van der Bort, aka Shmon, who is a Belgian player, commentator, and TO, and he's in all the Pokemon games as well, in terms of being in VGC, Go, and TCG. So, a fantastic person and just all round one of the most amazing people in the community. So, really happy to go up against him, but looking at his team, I'm not that happy because, yikes, that's a horrible matchup, is all I can say. My immediate thoughts when I look at this is, well, it just looks terrible, right? The problem with my team is that I'm incredibly heavily reliant on Palafin, and when you use Palafin, you need to waste or spend one turn switching it out and then back in again before it's actually useful. And in that one turn, Shmon can just go for a Swords Dance on the King Gambit and go for a Follow Me with his Electabuzz, and there isn't much I can do against that. I can't really, stop the Follow Me Swords Dance, and Black Glass's King Gambit is really, really scary, especially against my team. I think the only things I have to counter is really the Scrafty and the Quillfish, and they're not exactly offensive Pokemon, so, I'm not really liking the matchup. But obviously, I'm always going to try my best, so, yeah, looking at it, I just know. I know I've been saying this every single week, trying to predict the 6 Pokemon that my opponents are going to bring, and they usually end up bringing something a little different to expectations. But I know this week, Shmon is definitely going to bring King Gambit, Electabuzz, and Primarina. I don't know about the other Pokemon he's going to bring, but I know those 3 are definitely coming. So, my first thoughts are, well, how can I stop the setup from that King Gambit? And yeah, in terms of the Pokemon I'm going to bring, I'm definitely bringing the Duraludon because that Stalwart is going to be a really good ability against the redirection support from that Electabuzz. I'm obviously going to bring Palafin because that's, the number 1 damage dealer on my team. In terms of the other Pokemon, there's actually a case to be made for every single one of them. But I ended up going with Weezing and Scrafty because I think there's quite a few useful abilities on Shmon's team that I would like to disable. For instance, the double Intimidate, and then the Liquid Voice from Primarina, which means that if Weezing comes in, it can shut down the water type attacks, and I can feel a little bit more safer going for things like a Terra Fire. It's also very good against making sure that Blaziken doesn't get out of control, or the Serena doesn't, have Queenly Majesty, which prevents my Palafin from going for things like Jet Punch. So I'm going to bring the Duraludon, Palafin, Weezing, Scrafty, and then the last 2 Pokemon was a bit of a toss-up. Ultimately, I went with Zeb Striker because that is the fastest Pokemon on my team. And I think I see a lot of support options on Shmon's team, like Follow Me, that Frostlass, which is really fast, and I think it'll be very valuable to have a very fast taunt user, which Zeb Striker does get access to. Now, the last Pokemon on my team, I deliberated between Pelipper, Ninetales, and Quillfish, and also Sentret for the Follow Me. I didn't end up going with Sentret in the end, even though I think it would have been very cute to bring it in, because Sentret's really nothing more than a Follow Me bot, and I need as much offense, or at least I need to enable my team as much as I can. And so Sentret had to sit out. And I did think about Quillfish, because Quillfish does get access to Haze, which would be very nice against things like Carmine Serena or Swords Dance King Gambit. But because I'm already bringing Duraludon, which has the Eviolite, that means the Quillfish. Well, I'm gonna have to pick one of the two to give the Eviolite to, and without the Eviolite, the Quillfish is a bit squishy, so I end up deciding against it. So I end up bringing Ninetales because I don't want to enable the Primarina with the rain, and also Pelipod doesn't. It hits the Blaziken and Serena and the Appleton hard possibly, and maybe the Torracat, but it's a little slow, and I think I would appreciate the support from Ninetales at the moment more. So yeah, that ended up being my team. And without further ado, let's go into the movesets and the items and EV spreads. So first things you'll notice is that Weezing, which yes, I did actually end up, giving it the correct ability this time, which meant that it was actually useful. Now, the moveset is slightly strange. It is Heatwave, Overheat, Sludge Bomb, and Protect. So it's very, very offensive, as you'll see. It's modest 252 attack off of that, absolutely fantastic base 85 special attack, which, spoiler alert, it's not. But the idea behind this Weezing is that the eject pack with the Overheat will allow me to pivot out the Weezing and bring in the Palafin on the same turn, provided I don't hit a Protect or, if the Overheat misses. And so what ended up being interesting is that my team of 6 this week is the exact same Pokemon as the ones I brought last week against Costa. But I've totally switched up the movesets, and I'm hoping this can take Shmon off guard a bit. So the Terra type is Fire, because I figured since I'm running an offensive Weezing with the Terra Fire and, Overheat, that could actually deal some significant damage to the Kingambit. Kingambit is basically enemy number 1 against this team, so I want to have as many kind of safeguards against it as I can. I opted not to go with Will-O-Wisp this week because Weezing is actually faster than Kingambit, which means I can't run Zoom Lens on it, and I'm stuck with Wide Lens. And even though Wide Lens Will-O-Wisp will allow my Weezing to get, I believe, a 93-ish% accurate Will-O-Wisp, that's still not 100%. And against Kingambit, it's just so threatening that I don't want to run the risk of any misses, even if the miss is like a 7% chance. So that's the reason why I'm running these. Ironically, yes, I know Heatwave and Overheat are all 90% accurate, so they're not the most accurate, but ultimately I think this was just the best thing I could think of for this Weezing, which I'm using it more for its ability to shut down Shmon's team, and the damage it can do is just bonus. So obviously Heatwave is to get around those overheats, get around the follow me's. The overheat is to allow my Weezing to get that surprise switch out turn 1, which I know since this is closed team sheet, Shmon is definitely not going to see this coming. And then the Sludge Bomb, because Primarina is the second biggest threat against this team, so I just wanted some way of hitting it super effectively. I'm not terribly scared of everything else on Shmon's team. He does have, things like, say, Serena and Blaziken and like Braviary, which can be annoying, but I think the rest of my team can deal with it. For me, if I can have answers to the Kingambit primarily and then to the Primarina, I'll be okay. Now, in terms of the EVs, max special attack, because I needed it, and you're gonna laugh at the 60 speed. So there was zero logic to it. I just wanted Weezing to have some speed investment to hopefully outspeed the Primarina, and then 88 because I'm Chinese and that's a lucky number. So, I need all the luck I can get in this game. So that's Weezing. Next up, we have Scrafty. Scrafty this time has an ability shield, which allows it to ignore its teammate Weezing, and also means that if I lead something like Weezing and Scrafty, then I can drop the King Gambit to -1 attack, provided that the King Gambit is not holding an ability shield. But you know, I think the odds of Shmon giving an ability shield to his King Gambit's slim, so I'm willing to bank on that not being a thing. Now, it's got some fairly standard moves like Fake Out, Knock Off, and Drain Punch. You are probably going to question why on earth I've got Swagger on Scrafty. And that's because, as you will see later on, there is a surprise on my Palafin's item. So the Swagger, you know, it could be nice. Shmon's team's got a good mix of physical and special. So Swagger could be nice against the special attackers, but its main purpose was not to rely on RNG, it was to help the Palafin, which you will find out later on. In terms of the EV spreads, this Scrafty is basically my Scrafty from last week, but I shifted some EVs from defense into speed. It's now 1 point slower than the Weezing, and there actually wasn't much reason behind why I needed to be 1 point slower, but the amount of speed investment that I gave Scrafty meant that it could outspeed a very, you know, an uninvested Primarina and then get the Swagger off before Primarina is able to attack and hopefully get that confusion, but more importantly for my Palafin later on. There isn't... Like, Scrafty is a pretty bulky Pokemon. I think I ended up dumping more EVs in the HP. But honestly, this EV spread is not optimum. I basically did the thing of sliding things around on Showdown until it looked like a nice, complicated spread. Yeah, don't count on this one. But the Terra Poison, obviously, because Scrafty is just so weak to Fairy, that I wanted some way to, you know, mitigate that. And Poison's only weak to Ground and Psychic, which Ground, I don't think that kind of coverage Shmon will be carrying. And Psychic, well, there's the Galarian Slowking, which I can deal with the Scrafty and the other Pokemon on the team. And next up is Palafin with that Mirror Herb. So this was the reason why I ran Swagger on my Scrafty, so that Scrafty could, you know, kind of confuse the special attackers, but at the same time, if I manage to get that +2 on a special attacker, not only do I get the bonus of confusing them, but it also means the Palafin can copy that +2 attack for the next turn. Obviously, Palafin is faster than the Scrafty, so it's not going to work on the same turn, but I could easily just go for something like a Protect, allow the Scrafty to get the Swagger off, and then the next turn I have a very powerful Palafin. You will notice that this Palafin has no Wave Crash, which was a move that I relied on quite a bit in weeks of 1 and 2, and that was because I was really struggling with the move slots. Like, I think this Palafin really had a 4 move slot syndrome. You really want to run a water type attack because Palafin's just so strong. But for me this week at least, I wanted some way to dodge the King Gambit sucker punches, which is why the Jet Punch is there. And also the Drain Punch is just nice because there's no healing on my team. So Drain Punch is really the only way to help the Palafin heal, and I figured that if I manage to get Palafin to a +2, those Drain Punches are going to come in really, really handy in terms of recovery. And the last move, I did think about Wave Crash on the Palafin, but I felt that it was counterproductive if I managed to set up with a Mirror Herb and then I was just dealing recoil damage to myself. So I was hoping to rely on, you know, the teammates like Scrafty dropping Intimidates, and I have a few other tricks up my sleeve which I will show you later on. But basically I was hoping that the rest of the team would allow Palafin to stay on the field for just a really long time. The speed EVs, I I can't quite remember what it was supposed to outspeed. I think it could outspeed 252 base 85 speed, which is Blaziken, and I figured that if I got, say, Palafin and Weezing on the field at the same time, then Blaziken's speed boost would be shut off, which meant that I didn't have to worry about it. Now, I know that Palafin has Jet Punch, which is super effective against it anyway, but Blaziken could always Terra. I think that was what the speed was for. I don't quite remember. I haven't really done much prep for this game because, well, it's such a bad matchup that I don't think I'm going to win. So I just thought, let me at least not get, like, 4-0'd or something in this game. But then it's just max adamant, max attack, because, well, if you're at a +2 and you're facing a base 160 attack Palafin, that's going to be absolutely terrifying. And then the rest I just popped into HP. So yeah, this Palafin's a little bit interesting because it doesn't have Wave Crash, but I'm hoping the movesets will serve me well. That Terra Electric instead of Grass, because even though I think Grass is going to be really nice against, say, the Primarina and the Electabuzz, I have a suspicion that Shmon's Electabuzz will be static instead of Vital Spirit, because there's nothing really that can cause sleep on my team, so there's no benefit to having Vital Spirit. And I didn't want Palafin to, say, get its attack redirected into Electabuzz and then have Electabuzz's static activate and then paralyze the Palafin. So the Terra Electric is there mostly against the paralysis, and also just serves as a nice bonus against something like the Primarina or the Braviary. It does mean that I have to be very careful if the Palafin is on the field at the same time as the Zeb Striker, because Zeb Striker is Lightning Rod, which means I won't be able to use Terra Electric Terra Blast if Palafin is next to the Zeb Striker. And the next Pokemon we've got on our team is this Zeb Striker. This Zeb Striker, I had no idea Zeb Striker had so many different utility moves, but it ended up being quite useful. So Zeb Striker, as I said, is the fastest Pokemon on my team. This week it's a timid nature instead of jolly, because as you will see from its attacks, it has basically no attacks. So yeah, that doesn't really matter, and I figured just in case, I don't know, I get confused or have to struggle or something, I don't know, there's no real benefit to having anything, reducing special attack. And also, the one special attack I have on the Zeb Striker is Electro Web, so yay, base 80 special attack neutral might hit something nice with Electro Web, but Electro Web is mostly for the speed drops against the opponent's team. Taunt was absolutely vital because I can just see so much setup and redirection and just support moves coming from Shmon's side of the team. I gave it a Focus Sash, same as last week, because Zeb Striker is a very frail Pokemon. But this time, I wanted to also take advantage of its frailness with Endeavor. And given how fast Zeb Striker is, I think that there's a good chance, Zeb Striker will be knocked down to its Focus Sash, and then the next turn, after, say, I've done something like Electro Web, I can just go for the Endeavor. It does look a bit counterproductive because this Zeb Striker has 252 HP, but I honestly had no idea where else to throw all the EVs, because I felt that putting it into special attack was an absolute waste. So I thought it might be better, even with the Focus Sash, just to have some HP EVs. And the 44 in defense, it was basically a toss-up between either putting it in defense or in special defense, and I ended up putting it in defense because I put Eerie Impulse on this Zeb Striker. And Eerie Impulse, for those of you who don't know, is a status move that lowers the target's special attack by 2. Now, I'm absolutely certain Shmon will not see this coming at all, And this Eerie Impulse, I think, could come in very handy against allowing, say, the opposing Primarina from setting up and keeping Palafin nice and safe. The other thing I thought about with the Zeb Striker is that because I'm so scared of the Electabuzz King Gambit lead, say if I had Zeb Striker and Palafin on the field at the same time, I could taunt the Electabuzz, prevent the follow me. Zeb Striker can survive anything at any one attack because of the Focus Sash. And then the next turn, I'm guessing Shmon probably is not going to Sucker Punch my Zeb Striker. It's probably going to go after Palafin. So I can go for the Electro Web, drop the speed of the King Gambit, and then Palafin can copy the +2 attack and KO the King Gambit. And this is quite helpful because King Gambit's Sucker Punch is priority, so it's guaranteed to go off before the Zeb Striker's Electro Web, which means that if the King Gambit, in that situation of Zeb Striker and Palafin on the field, King Gambit's Sucker Punch will be neutral on my Palafin or neutral attack, and then the Palafin can then retaliate back with a +2 Drain Punch, which means that it's probably going to heal back all of its health. And then the next turn, Palafin can just Jet Punch if the King Gambit managed to survive, say, if it went for the Terra. The only annoying thing would be if the King Gambit is Terra Ghost, but I'm hoping with Ability Shield, Scrafty, and Weezing, Terra Ghost King Gambit won't give me as much of a problem as I think it will be. So yeah, that's Zeb Striker meant to support the Palafin. Next up we have Duraludon. Duraludon's quite similar to what I had last week, but this time I dropped all of its speed and put them all into special attack because there wasn't much I wanted to outspeed against Shmon's team, and I have two forms of speed control, one in the Zeb Striker and one on my Ninetales with the Icy Wind, so speed wasn't that important to me. I think I ended up putting 28 EVs into speed just in case there was a Blaziken there and maybe I needed some help there, but it was just some leftover EVs. I think the 228 was supposed to be a 2-hit KO on some variants of Primarina, so that's what the modest special attack was for, because I figured this week, since I didn't want everything to rely on Palafin, I needed some other form of offense, and Zeb Striker, Weezing, and Scrafty are not it, so I'm relying on Duraludon as a second form of offense. The Body Press, because it's got really great defenses, I did think about running Flash Cannon originally, because I felt that against Shmon's team, I probably will not have the time to set up the Iron defense. But ultimately, when I ran some damage calcs, Flash Cannon didn't really pick up any noticeable KOs that Thunderbolt wouldn't, and yeah, so I thought maybe Iron Defense Body Press, if I'm allowed to set it up. I'm not optimistic, but at least Body Press and Thunderbolt would be quite nice against this Electabuzz. It's Terra Poison type because I don't want any super effective close combats from the Blaziken. It'll also allow the Duraludon to take resisted hits from, say, a Moonblast Primarina, and if Weezing was on the field, well then Primarina just has a Hyper Voice that's a normal type attack, and yes, that'll hit Duraludon for neutral damage, but it won't be stabbed for the Primarina because I've turned off Hyper Voice with the Weezing, so I thought it was, okay. And lastly, we have the Ninetales. So Ninetales is very similar to the one I ran last week. I think I made some slight adjustments to its special attack. I dropped it for more health because this Ninetales doesn't have a Citrus Berry. Now, Ninetales was another one of those cases of 4 move slot syndrome. I really wanted to run Encore on it as well. But I figured that this week, I don't see anything noticeable on Shmon's team that can stop me from bringing, my snow. So that's why I wanted the Aurora Veil and the Light Clay on it. Now Blizzard, because the matchup is so bad, I'm gonna need all the RNG that I can get. And I figured, the 10% chance to freeze, not a great chance, but it is our chance. So yeah, that's what Blizzard is for, to fish for the freezes and just get some nice neutral spread attack damage. Icy Wind because I needed that speed control, and I also wanted some way to activate the Defiant against the King Gambit and then allow the Palafin to copy the Defiant boost and KO back with a Drain Punch. And a fun fact is that at +2 attack from a baby Palafin, so not the hero form, just the regular weak form, is actually enough to get the Oko on King Gambit with a Drain Punch. So I'm hoping that, you know, if in our battle there's an instance where I have Ninetales and Palafin lead, I can actually turn 1 go for the Icy Wind and Drain Punch. I think if, say, Shmon leads King Gambit and Electabuzz and I lead Ninetales and Palafin, I highly doubt he's gonna go for that follow me, because he's probably not going to feel threatened by a baby Palafin, and Ninetales is known for either setting up Aurora Bell or spamming Blizzard. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, that if worst comes to worst, I can lead Ninetales and Palafin, get rid of the King Gambit, and then later on, I can then bring in my Duraludon to deal with the Primarina. So yeah, that was why Icy Wind was there. And then the final move, it was a really big toss-up between Disable and Encore. I really, really wanted both because I was really scared of a setup on Shmon's team. But ultimately, I felt that Disable would come in more handy because I could disable the Follow Me. I could also disable a Sucker Punch if I can time those disables correctly, whereas Encores are a little bit more situational and relies on my opponent actually going for a protect or a setup move. So yeah, that was the move set on Ninetales, and its speed is just enough to outspeed timid Electabuzz. I'm not expecting Shmon to run a timid Electabuzz, but because I have such a big disadvantage, I can't take that risk. So yeah, I would have liked to dump more EVs into its defenses, but I think this was good enough, and I just wanted some special attack because, well, otherwise I don't want to be forced to rely on just the Palafin and the Duraludon. I don't actually remember what any of the HP and the special attack benchmarks are for. I think it was just I took some out of speed, I think, and yeah, put it into special attack. I don't really remember. I think especially with Draft League, well, this is my first one, so I'm actually learning quite a lot about Draft League, but what I've also realized is that when you're up against just one team in particular, there's a little bit more room for, you know, mistakes and flexibility compared to, say, a tournament setting. So yeah, just looking off the match, my plan is to lead, at least in game 1, Weezing Palafin. Then turn 1, swap out the Palafin for the ability shield Scrafty, and then Weezing goes for the overheat and then swaps out. And then I'll have Palafin and Scrafty on the field at the same time and can wreak some havoc. And if Weezing happens to overheat into a King Gambit that goes for the Swords Dance, then hey, my Palafin will have come in with a free +2, because Weezing is faster than King Gambit, unless the King Gambit's like Jolly 252, which I don't think anyone in their right minds will ever run. So yeah, so that's the plan. Lead Palafin Weezing game 1 with Scrafty and something in the back, depending on what Shmon's got. And then in game 2, I think I would lead... well, depending on how game 1 goes, if I somehow miraculously manage to win game 1, I think game 2 I might lead with something like Zeb Striker and Duraludon, or... yeah, I don't know. I would be very happy if I managed to take one game off Shmon, but I'm not that optimistic because of the horrible matchup. But, you know, ultimately, you get some good matchups, you get some bad matchups. I think the matchup I have against David in week 4 is slightly better because that's a Sun team, but yeah, not looking forward to this match, but gotta get it done, and hopefully I don't get just completely curb stomped there. So that's the team, and let's get into our games. Alright, so this is up against Shmon, and given how bad this matchup is, I think I am going to hope that I don't get stomped, basically. So Shmon's just sent over his Terra types: King Gambit Water, Frostless Grass, Primarina Grass, Electabuzz Ghost, Appleton Water, and Quillfish Steel. So I'm pretty darn glad I put Terra Blast Electric on my thingo, Palafin. But I have a strong suspicion that the Frostlass has some sort of water move. I think I'm gonna go with the classic Weezing Palafin lead that I have decided. But I'm just gonna send Shmon a message. Hold on. Okay, so Weezing Palafin with do we want Ninetales? Okay, Appleton is water. I think Duraludon's very good here. And Scrafty? Do we want Scrafty or Zebstriker's nice for the taunt. I have the fastest taunt in the game. So that could be very nice. Or Scrafty for the Intimidate. I think what I'm gonna do first is, because Shmon doesn't know that I have a Mirror Herd, right? So I can lead this, and then in game 2, depending on how game 1 goes, I will bring out the Zebstriker. It's not looking that great, but yeah, let's give this a try. This is such a bad matchup. Oh, okay. Show me Electabuzz and King Gambit. Please. Show me Electabuzz and King Gambit with Primarina in the back. And I mean, I don't really... Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? Okay, so let's overheat this fellow. Wait, no, Weezing has neutralizing gas. Wait. Why didn't... Okay, Well, I didn't pay attention to the animation, so I don't actually know if I managed to get the... Oh yes, beauty. You can taunt me if you want. Come on, Weezing, overheat. Please land the overheat. Yes, yeah, boy. Yes. Okay. Excellent. Now let's get the Palafin in. Come on. Excellent. Show me the swords dance. Show me the swords dance. Show me the swords dance. Come on. Swords dance, swords dance. Oh, okay. Okay. Now, does this Frostlass have has it got I might, okay, I'm gonna protect and then go for the knockoff because I don't know if the Frostlass has Will-O-Wisp. Oh crap, oops, I timed out. That's cool. That's cool. Now I will scout out for, okay, taunt. Okay, so does this Frostlass not have Will-O-Wisp? Right. Okay. Right. Now what? Now I can just do this, right? And Jet Punch. I'm just gonna Terra Electric in case there's a Giga Drain or something ridiculous coming out. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Not bad. I should have Terra Blast, shouldn't I? That's fine. That's probably an indication that the Frostlass does not have Protect, which I'm okay with. Now, next up. Oh, that still did heaps. Okay, knock off. Now, what did I get rid of? Lefties. Good. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap to Weezing and I'm actually gonna knock off the Primarina and see if this does anything. Let's go. Okay, Encore. Well, I went for the knockoff anyway, so that's cool. The Primarina having Encore is quite interesting, right? Citrus Berry. Okay, this is quite nice. Aqua Acid. What on earth is that? Special defense. That's fine, that's fine. Now I get to let's Sludge Bomb and bring in Duraludon. I think Weezing's actually done its job at this point, so I don't really mind. Okay. If the Primarina goes... Oh, Appleton into water. That's cool with me, because now my Palafin can just come in and do silly things. Ow, that does so much. Yeah, let's go Weezing! Okay, so Primarina has Moonblast, Encore, Moonblast, Encore. What else? Okay, Leech. Oh, that healed up so much. What the hell? Right. Okay. Firstly, Primarina's down, and it's faster than Scrafty. It is faster than Scrafty. I would actually like to get... Let's Sludge Bomb this guy. And... I mean, think... Okay, so Frost Mass is almost down. I'm actually gonna Heat Wave. Try to get rid of this thingo. And then, yeah. Ice Spin, okay. Whoa, that did so much. Oh, yeah, let's go. What's this thing gonna do? Iron defense? Oh, I see. Okay. Well, what's going to happen now is that I'm gonna Heat Wave again, swap out Duraludon for Scrafty and get that get Scrafty in. That's cool, that's totally cool. Because now that's fine. Okay, Leech Seed is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. So let's get Duraludon in now. Now the question is this King Gambit a... Okay, Body Press Leech Seed. I'm gonna Body Press this guy. Send in the Palafin. And... see what happens? Okay. Oh yes! Yo! Yo! That's so funny. Okay. Go Duraludon! It's really interesting that this thing hasn't gone for a single... Okay, +2... Let's get Scrafty in. And good thing is, so I haven't actually revealed the Mirror Herb nonsense, right? So let's now Terra Blast. Okay, so it does have Protect. It's fine. Plus Fake Out, Terra Blast. And now turn 2. Turn 2, I am thinking. So okay, firstly let's Drain Punch. Because why not? And Terra Blast. How much damage does this do? Come on. Palafin. Okay, it's at +2 defense, so that's not great. Oh, not good, not good. Oh yes! Woo! Okay, we take game 1. Beautiful. Right, now game 2 is going to be a little tricky. I don't think Shmon's going to lead with that again. He might... So, okay. So the Appleton has Body Press, Leech Seed... Well, we didn't actually see the Body Press, but it's got Leech Seed, Iron Defense, and Protect, and I would be willing to guess that it is a Body Press. Okay, so that worked. I don't think the Weezing Palafin lead is going to work again a second time. So I'm not going to lead that a second time. And... do we think the King Gambit's going to come in? Oh, sorry, do we think the... Let's bring in... Let's... Oh, this is kind of... Do you think the Electabuzz and Palafundy is going to come in? That's my question. But if that happens... can't really Let's try this set. Palafin. Or I just don't think the... Let's not do... Oh my god, I'm running out of time. Okay, let's do Ninetales and Palafin. And Duraludon and Scrafty in the back? Do we want Scrafty in the back? Or do we want this guy in the back? I'm running out of time. Okay, let's try this now. Okay, actually I almost timed out there. The reason why I didn't bring Scrafty is because of the fact that I didn't bring Weezing. But I'm gonna try some shenanigans. So I didn't need to reveal the Mirror Herb, which was excellent. And I'm very happy about that. Okay. Okay. This is really interesting. The Frostlass probably has that, right? So let's just Icy Wind. And get Duraludon in. And then the next turn, Duraludon will be faster than... Okay, beautiful. I went for the Icy Wind though, so... That's very nice. Now, are we going to see Primarina? Oh, okay. That's nice. That's very, very, very nice. Now, I can just start spamming Blizzard now. Duraludon at this point, I think is... I would like to... I'd like to actually get rid of this Frostlass. Yeah. So let's Thunderbolt. And hope for a freeze. Oh! Oh wow. Okay. Oh, nicely played. Nicely played. Nicely played there. Moonblast. That's fine. Now I can do this. Okay, so this is kind of interesting, right? I will Blizzard. And I will now taunt this guy. Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. Taunt, Moonblast. Taunt, Moonblast. It's actually quite nice. Destiny Bond. Okay, good. So it's probably the Hyper Voice then. What I'm gonna do now is go for the Aurora Veil, because I can go for the Aurora Veil, and then I'm gonna Eerie Impulse this. Yeah, let's do that. I hope it does not switch out to King Gambit, because if it does, I'm gonna be in a bit of a sticky situation. Oh yeah, let's go. Okay, got the Eerie Impulse off. Now I've got the Aurora Veil off. I wish Shmon would knock out this Ninetales, man. Now this Moonblast will do peanuts. Except the special attack drop is not the greatest. Now, how many turns of Blizzard Snows left? Okay, so this is the final turn of Thingo, which means I'm going to get the Palafin in. And I'm also going to Electro Web now. Let's go. Okay. Mercury. Who's Mercury? Oh. Okay. This is quite nice. This is very nice. Okay, so Snow stops, but I can protect, and I can taunt this guy. Once that's taunted, that's fine. I hope I see a King Gambit series. Okay. Oh, this is really interesting now. Okay. Taunt. Taunt goes off. That's fine. LOL. Okay. Nice, 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 nice. Nice. Okay. Now I can taunt. Let's go for this. And just... Drain Punch, right? And... I can endeavor. It's a bit unfortunate that... Oh, what did I do? What did I go? Venus. Who's Venus? Okay, but that's nice. That's fine. Now, there's no King Gambit, which is a bit annoying. Lol. Okay, so that didn't do anything. That's fine. That's totally fine. Because now I can Drain Punch this and Electro Web because I am faster and I've got a special... Okay. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Electro Web. Let's go. Oh no! Oh my god, that is so bad. Oh, actually, that's not that bad. Because I Drain Punched it. Oh, come on. Come on! Of course I missed the damn thing. Why? Okay. So, Destiny Bond. Let's protect now and go for a taunt. And then I don't wanna... Oh god, that was so bad. Okay, but it's not the end of the world. Alright, come on. Okay, got the taunt off. So that's the nice thing about it. Right. Okay, okay. Yes! Go, beauty. Okay. And now I send in Ninetales and Blizzard. So I can Terra Blast and I can Icy Wind. The reason why I'm Icy Winding is because I don't want the Destiny Bond to come off and lose my Ninetales. So it's kind of close. Alright. Nice. Nice, yes. Got it. I got it. Okay, right. That means Icy Wind comes off, does absolutely nothing, which is fine. That's not my concern. Now let's go for the Terra Blast. Excellent. Okay. Now I can Jet Punch the Frost thingo. If we see Mercury Thunder. Okay, so I am going to... I'm gonna steal Terra Blast. And then I'm gonna disable this. Yes! Okay, good. Gone and disabled it. Okay, good. Primarina can... Goodbye, follow me. Cure will do a lot of damage. Now the following turn. Okay, that doesn't do very much. Moonblast does barely anything. But I can now just... Okay, so... I think it's pretty obvious we're gonna see a Protect on the Primarina. And the Frost last switch in. But I'm still going to do this. And then go for the Aurora Veil. Yeah. Okay. Not bad. Is Shmon hoping for Cursed Body? So Aurora Veil is set up a second time. Okay, Electro Web is annoying. But that's fine. Okay. Well, that's gone now. Okay, no Cursed Body. This is good. And now I can just spam Blizzard, right? Jet Punch this and just Blizzard. You can't disable. Okay, good. Now let's Jet Punch. That does a decent amount. Electro Web, okay. Oh, somebody avoided the attack. Oh, okay, Ninetales. That's fine. Wizard. Let's go. Freeze. Give me a freeze. Come on. No freeze. Okay. So that's the final turn of disable, which means I can now Terra Blast this guy. And let's go for an icy. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, right? I'm just slower regardless. Okay. That fails the double protect. Oh my god. I can't believe we managed to win this one. Oh, that was so close. Okay. Phew. Terra Blast is gonna come off. Oh, first the Blizzard comes off. Oh my god. I can't believe we managed to win with such a bad matchup. Oh no, Citrus Berry. Okay. Let's go. Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Palafin. Didn't even need the Mirror Herb. Wow. Whew. That was, I was not expecting to win this week. That was absolutely terrifying, but I'm very happy about that. Anyway, that concludes this week. So, thank you all for watching.